Hello there, lovelies. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if it's your first time. My name's Jenny and I have a flip through for you today. It's been ages since I've done a video, and the first one back is a flip through of this gorgeous big chunky journal. This is one of the journals that I used to participate in the Inspiration 26 January challenge with Lydia at Raindrop Lila. Lydia was hosting the challenge, and yeah, so I had already started my journals before the challenge. I actually did the prompts between this journal and another one, which is also finished, and I will do a flip through in a couple of days' time for. But today we have this one. It's 3 signatures, and both of the journals, they grew very quickly. I had put them all together, and they were all stitched in, and then I had to deconstruct them because they would not close, like quite literally would not close. And so yes, I deconstructed them and then separated the papers. This one was 2 signatures, so it's gone into 3. The other one was I can't remember how many signatures it was originally, but it is now 4, I think. So I don't know how many pages are in here. I will have them all counted up for when I do the listing. So I don't know, there's lots, as you will see. So the cover is repurposed from a lovely retro book that I found. I really love the gold work that is on the cover. Unfortunately, I couldn't keep it all, so when I reconstructed them, I wanted them to be open spine because I thought that would be easier. Only this one, I didn't like the way it looked. It didn't look pretty, whereas the other one does. The other one does look quite lovely. So I ended up covering this with some vintage tapestry with roses on it and some lace appliques, and then as you can see, I've added this tassel that I made. I did tassels on a video a while back, and I chose this one for this journal, and it is quite lovely. It's got crystal beads and pearl sort of fringing and lots of different textiles in there, and the nameplate on there, and on the back I've covered it with some of my vintage wallpaper, which I do love. And then as you can see, the closure is some quite strong lace netting that I've hand dyed a long time ago, and it's attached on these. I'm not sure what these are called. The name escapes me, but they're like a brad, and so that's what they're attached with, or the tie is anyway. Yeah. Oh goodness, I hope you're all well and happily crafting along. I've been seeing some wonderful things on Instagram, and can't wait to get back into creating some lovely bits and pieces myself. So let's just open this up and see what's inside. This paper bag does come off. I haven't got anything in it yet. I'm planning on putting a letter in the back. I've done a tuck spot here, and I'll put some ephemera inside as well. But yeah, I did these on a video as well. These are, I just had fun doing these. So and then the inside cover is just a collage of paper and lace. So that is, there we go. I've got a few of these bulldog clips. I have to get around to rusting them, seeing how I go with that. I haven't done that before, so I'm going to have some fun. Now, the pages are mostly tea-dyed papers and book pages and music sheets, and I think there's a antique document or two in there as pages. And there's just a couple of these, which is from a Stamperia kit. I had a packet of background pages for Desiree, or I don't know how it was pronounced, but I didn't use all of them. I only used a couple because they had roses and like lace on them. So I can't remember what all of the prompts were. There's some in this and there's some in the other one. But if I do remember which one's a prompt, I will point it out. But I won't remember which prompt it was. Okay. So this is an antique document from, it's Italian, from 1933. And I have acquired the odd retro letter writing packs, and this is from one of them. It's a lovely embossed card, and it hasn't been used, so I've just slipped it in here. I haven't attached anything here. I've left it for whoever owns this journal later. They might want to remove it or add a page or leave it as it is or make a tuck spot out of it. Don't know. So some extra page there. Hang on. There we go. So it's a lovely marble type paper. I really like that. This is a piece of vintage typing paper, and on this Italian book page, it's antique rag paper type book page. I've done an embellished pocket, and inside just a simple journal card. I haven't done really much at all to. And this cute little scrappy notebook of all different bits and pieces, which can be used in the journal, or they can be used for journaling little notes on. This is out of a really lovely coffee table book that I had on roses. And I really love this spread. I do think this was one of the prompts. So I'll just take all this out so that you can see it properly. But yeah. So double layers of lace, hand-dyed applique, and a little cluster I've done there. This was off of an antique music book, which the cover was in really bad disrepair, but I was able to save this lovely image. And in one pocket I've got a large tag with my vintage wallpaper and embossed craft paper. And a piece of, oh, it's actually a double page of antique Italian book page, which I've put in some tea-dyed paper for journaling. I've left these 2 pages for whatever they're going to be later on. So that sits behind in there. And then this is a piece of vintage Italian document. I'm not sure of the date. I think it might be 43. Yeah. And just a basic tag, which I haven't really done anything to. I did try and not embellish every single page, and I did leave quite a few, or not quite a few, but a couple of cards which I haven't done anything to at all. And then we've got this, I think this was one of the prompts, it might have been. And we've got a journal card and a index card. Index cards was one of the prompts, I do remember that. Right, and on this page I've used a lace doily, and I've hand stitched beads and sequins. I've added a rusted safety pin with 2 vintage buttons. I don't know if you can see that, but one of them's got a diamante in the centre. And inside the pocket, I had this beautiful toile napkins. I bought a packet of them, so that does feature throughout the journal. Inside the pocket, I have put from a 1934 Homes and Gardens magazine a page of ads, and I just thought that it'd be really good for collage and that. So that's that piece goes in there. I will need to glue that corner back down. And a layered journal card. One of my vintage playing cards. It's a lovely winter scene of a little village. I haven't done anything to the playing cards that I've included in the journal. I've left them so that there's something for the new owner to play with. There's a digital piece of ephemera that I've just embellished. There's more of the book page. This was a prompt as well. This is antique wallpaper, or not antique, vintage wallpaper. I don't have much of that left. I've got a small piece, I think. Some of my copper watercolour painted paper with embossed pattern on there, and another journal card. This paper clip was one of the prompts. I did do another one, but that has disappeared somewhere. I think that was in the other journal. Anyway, that's attached to the other half of that Italian document. And this is an image out of the coffee table book I've used to make a large journal card out of. So that just slots in there. Oh, goodness me. So that's the other side of the document. On here there is a little wraparound journal spot. It was a paper doily that I've backed with napkin, and it can be written on the inside, and I've just put this little cluster embellishment there, and that just sits over the page like so. This was a prompt for quote or verse or poem, or I can't remember, but it was one of the prompts. I love this quote. Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain, by Vivian Green. And then on the other side is a flip. This is a large journal card that I made into a flip, and the illustration is by me. I have to sign it. I haven't signed it yet, so but that's done in felt tip pen, and it just flips out, can be all written on. Texture was a prompt, so there's quite a bit of texture throughout the journal. In this little tuck spot we've got this really sweet journal card that I made, and this is a piece of antique French book page. On this side we've got these journal cards which I made inspired by Polaroids, and of course it's really not that much like a Polaroid, it's similar. I used a book page, I embossed it, and then I went over the embossing with distress ink. The image is covered with a laminating sheet, and then I've just used some vintage lace to embellish it, and on the back it can be written on as well. So that's another journal spot which is sitting over this antique Italian book page, and it just clips to the side of the page like so. And on the other side is another one of my vintage playing cards, and a Tuckfield's, I think it's Tuckfield's tea card, Australian Birds. This was a prompt, I think it was for postcard, but I didn't have any postcards, so I used this antique French letter card. And can I see a date? No, not really. No, I can't really. Just tucks into here. This is not actually a pocket, but there's enough room there for it to tuck and be held down, and when you pull it out it's got the writing all on the back there. And then I've added this for journaling so that it does have some use, and then of course there's a hidden journal spot underneath there as well, and that just tucks in there like that. In here we've got a journal card that I've patchworked some fabric and trims onto. I think it turned out really sweet. I love it. I should make more of those. I did these on a video a long while back. These were to embellish pages with, and this one I've left as a tuck spot. And there's another page from the Homes and Gardens, full of ads on both sides. Wonderful paper, and that So this is a flip that opens out for more journaling. It's got this lovely page cluster with a couple of charms hanging off the bottom. And to open this up, you just pull it out like that and open the flip, and then you've got all the space for journaling and space here for journaling, and then and you can easily hide things in there. This is a little hidey spot. There is a piece of folded up tea-dyed paper in there for journaling on, and on the other side of it is this bookmark flip thingy with lots of scrappy papers. Some beautiful Florentine paper that I got from Roxy Creations, and another index card, which is just on this side has got napkin. The other side can be written on. And then take these out. This is my own mixed media page. If I do have my own mixed media pages, in my bigger journals, I do like to put at least one of the pages, sometimes two. I do photocopy them or take photos or scan them first of all, and then the originals get put in the bigger journals. But I've got copies then for later on. So in the vintage lace pocket, I've got this journal card here, and this really sweet, I'm not sure if it's Dutch or German, children's playing card. I think it might be German. Or actually no, it could be Dutch. I don't know. Oh, I've got no idea. I can't remember. In the other pocket, I've got a piece of my 1895 book page, which has got a lovely texture on the text. That just tucks in there. And then I've got this original French, I'm not sure what these are called, I can't remember. I bought these on Etsy. I cannot remember the name. I'll try to find the shop and put it in below, in the description below. Another playing card, and just a random little tag, which I haven't really done anything to. A friend of mine made tags, and it's the first time I've used them. So on this side, I've got this little, it's a hand-dyed piece of a vintage tablecloth, and I've just threaded the organza strip through. It's not actually ribbon, it's just a very thin strip of fabric, and made a bow. I put a little flower applique, and the card is made out of it's fabric on this side, and I've embellished it with embossed paper and really sweet vintage buttons. This is another wraparound, which I've used some of my sketch pad paper. I've done watercolour on it and then embellished on both sides. The back is left white, and I just have tucked it in there. Wrapped it around some Florentine paper, Another playing card. I haven't got many of these ones left. And this is a journal card, which I've used a digital document and some lace and label, and I think that turned out really sweet. Tucked in this embellished tuck spot is, I got a bundle of these airmail envelopes on eBay, and so I've popped these in. These are from the 80s, I believe. This one's 83 stamped, and I've popped a piece of retro notelet paper from a letter writing kit in there that can be used for journaling, and then tucked away and a piece of French antique book page, and another basic journal card, and that's all on a piece of antique Italian book page. And then on the other side is another tuck spot and a journal card. This was a prompt. This is my toile fabric. I took a really sweet scene and glued it all on. I've trimmed it with mostly vintage lace and some modern trims. I've backed it so that it can be used for journaling, and I've attached it to the page with lace. I think that turned out really sweet. I did have so much fun doing that challenge. I was really disappointed that I couldn't use Lydia's papers, but I will be using some of her papers very soon. I can't wait. This is from a antique music book. It's the back page, I think, of the cover. And this is the other half. It's another one of my mixed media pages. And this here is a this is from a prompt as well, because it was for string, and yeah, I just used a cluster and I covered up the page with a piece of music book cover there, and I've made a card which goes in that pocket. I've got some straw paper here, which I also got from Roxy Creations, and I've made a tuck spot and just added some lace. I did a textile sample journal card. This was inspired by a Roxy Creations video, and there's also a page of vintage graph paper, and it looks like there's like building calculations or something, and then the costing of this whatever is being built. So I thought that was really interesting, and the back of it can be used for journaling, or you can cut it up and use it in collaging. That just tucks in there like that. Some more texture, a little cluster. It's another page out of the coffee table book. A beautiful image on the other side as well. A collaged window envelope which I've made into a flip for journaling. It's more texture, and there is a tool tag inside. I made that a very long time ago, so this is from way back out of my stash. And just a sweet pocket there, and a digital that I've backed with some paper for journaling. And this is just a bit of paper which I've just really left as it is out of the Desiree kit. And on the other side is one of my paint samples, swatches, that's it, and a postcard from 1967. It's come from Germany all the way to Australia. And and this is one of my pages that I made ahead of time. I had a really big die fussy cut, and I had a couple of them actually, so I made up a couple of music pages with the big fussy cut roses on them. Another one of my paint swatches. All my swatches I've done with Daniel Smith watercolours. This one can be written on the back, and tucked underneath here is a piece of my note paper. It's got a rose on there. It's not old, it's not very old. It's just a notebook that I don't really use. So, and that's on antique Italian book page. And then on the other side, this is a prompt. It was a collage. And on here is another journal card, and I've just used a digital for the background, and then a napkin over the top. I love working with napkins. They are so versatile, and you get so many awesome ephemera pieces and pages out of napkins. So yes, I do use them a lot. This is something else that I made a long while back, and I did do these on video. It's 3 tags in one. So there's an Alphonse Musha journal card, little tiny one, and a book page tag with some stenciling, and a larger tag with music sheet, vintage wallpaper that I've got, and some more stencils, and they all can be written on the reverse side. Put a belly band in at the last minute. I don't seem to do belly bands much these days, and when I was finishing this off, I thought I need to do a belly band, so that's what I've done there. And tucked in here is it's an embossed envelope with collaging, and my very first effort at doing wax seals, and inside is just a piece of modern notelet paper, and that just tucks in there to close. It's the other page, other side of that music sheet. This is just some random paper I've popped in here for collaging or yeah, collaging. I have done a paper bag. This is more of a, this is not, it's not glassine, but it's really fine and crinkly paper bag. I did back it with some tea-dyed paper, but I love this Alphonse Mouche, so romantic. And this is from a napkin. And inside is a book page from my Antique Girls Annual from 1893, I think it is. And I love the images. They're so sweet. How artificial flowers should be made. A new remunerative occupation for the home. The text is so tiny. Very, very tiny. And then on the other side there's text and that beautiful image there. The Three Old Maids of Lee. So that just tucks into that bag. Another coffee table book page with more roses. The other side of it I haven't done anything to, so that's like a blank page almost. More graph paper. I put this cluster in at the last minute. It's got a couple of charms. It's a cross and a filigree heart hanging off there. And tucked inside the cluster is an antique original photo and it looks like an invoice or a memo of some kind. It's Italian from 1943. So I've been told anything from 70 or 80 years is considered antique. So I don't know. My maths is not that great to work it out off the top of my head straight away. This is from the coffee table book as well. It's a beautiful little rose garden with some embossed craft paper and some vintage book page there. And the other side is my mixed media page. But these two pages are very sneaky because you wouldn't know it. It's just to look at them. But it is a pocket. And inside is a piece of antique Italian document from 1934. And look at all that journaling space, and there as well. So loads of journal space in this journal. And then we come to the back cover. This was also a prompt. It was right at the very end of the challenge. And I've got this bow at the side, which looks like it's a part of the collaging. But if you undo the bow, the prompt was unexpected. And so this is unexpected to find a pocket here like this. And hidden inside is an envelope, which was also a prompt. It was to do with ink. So I made an envelope by inking with stencils. So yeah, pretty basic, but you know. And inside the envelope is a digital of a antique calling card, some tickets, and a piece of my ephemera. Excuse me, now I don't even know what I'm saying. A piece of my wallpaper. I think this is 80s, early 80s, maybe late 70s, early 80s. A lovely Jacobean pattern. I really love Jacobean work. I don't have much of this paper left either, so got a piece of that. This is, I'm not sure exactly how old, but it feels very old. And a piece of vintage end page. I love the fleur-de-lis. That could be written on. It's light enough to write over. And the back is blank. So, and I just tuck everything in like so. And that just flips in under there. And I didn't do too much to the envelope. And then it just ties up into a little bow. And yeah, you really wouldn't know. So that's that. I also have added this in. I included this in the unexpected prompt as well, because this is a free gift. Goes with the journal, and I made these quite some time ago on a video as well. They're just attached with a brad, all different papers for journaling and collaging. There's all kinds, and in this here, this is an envelope full of bits of lace and some other treasures. So just some little random bits that can be used in this journal or another journal even. So that's a freebie that goes with the journal. So I would love to know what you think of this lovely journal. The other one will be up in hopefully a couple of days. I'm going to be listing them probably the day after the next one goes up. So sometime early next week, middle of next week at the latest, I would say. I've got some other listings to do as well, so, but I'm in the middle of like working on my shop and just changing things up a little bit, I think, and removing a couple of things. So I'd love to know what you think of this chunky girl, and yeah, she was so much fun, and I would happily join in on another challenge. Bye for now, everyone. Peaceful blessings. Stay happy, stay busy, healthy, and until next time, bye. Peaceful blessings to you all.